featuring the Fred Kaplan trio tonight. That would be me on the piano in a minute, Lorne Rall on the bass, and hang on one sec. I'm talking on the, and then Eddie, where are you? Eddie Layman on the drums. We're gonna get this set up in just a minute, so bear with me. It takes a second for me to set this up correctly.
Good. Perfect right there.
Hang on. Someone's gonna kick it if I leave it there. I gotta push it back here. Give me 1 second. Take a look at it. Tell me which way it comes out. Leave it like that? Really? See Eddie okay? No. Probably. I think last set, we played everything just with no everywhere. Put that shit down. When you get back to Singapore, you're going to go through your files and stuff? You going to listen to some of it?
Yeah, I did. I got all in it.
I wouldn't mind some copies, especially like some of the good nights.
Yeah, thumb drive, just a thumb ball.
Just send it like on FTP, get it on, you send it,
Yeah.
or you get it on Dropbox.
Dropbox. I just, the one I used to get to upload. If you got a thumb drive, I got everything on one fell swoop for you. You want me to just do it? Yeah, go ahead. Yes, I used to have, they took it to the Lord and God. I used to have it 1 year ago. And so they kept it from going in. Yeah, I was thinking,
Back in the day, you know, it was a different era. People were more trusting, and you know, a lot of people like you could charge stuff for some guy, and I'm like, oh, I didn't think you have to do
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And even in the summertime, when I was a junior guy, you can all come up to the park. Get my popsicles and we can go down.
Here's a little, laying down one thing that's still
I remember those.
we have got, waiter for
Yeah, and we.
all along the expert line.
What city were you in when you were a little kid?
Clear?
Yeah, so you were. Yeah. I didn't understand when your number was about 14. By the time I was like 16.
So I have a house of cards across the street.
Yeah.
It's like a block of the tire store. He's gonna hang out there.
Remember the Ward Theater? Theater?
Work
Wardman Theater, yeah.
on Freelancer.
They had a job. And if you did get invited up there, you never really see it. Remember that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Not a- yeah, but it had never even been close to anything.
Hi,
Hey, you.
how are you guys?
Pretty good. We missed you. We have.
Aw.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I was just, I was away for last weekend.
Everything good?
Everything was great. I was at Camp Hollywood, swing dancing.
Fun?
Yeah.
Hey, not to put a damper on anything, but I lost my computer issues.
Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, you definitely should. Did you want me to leave this closed so you don't get blinded? Or do you
Just
want it
until the
open?
sun goes down, yeah.
Let me know when you're ready to lift it.
I did something, yeah. That thing's open.
Yeah,
It
it's hot.
cooks you for a while. And then eventually when the sun goes down, it cools down. And then people open this.
It's a,
Jazz sauna.
yeah, a jazz sauna. I like that.
Okay. Let's play that thing while we're doing it now. You ready? appreciate that. This kind of music you can't play when you're like uptight, or you had a bad day, or your wife jumped on you, or your dog ate your shoes before the gig. Can you turn that like just an inch towards me a little bit? Thank you. So you gotta be really relaxed, and we're not discussing mood enhancements right here. We're just talking about raw out of the car onto the stage. You gotta just mentally prepare yourself. It's like you care about it, but you can't care too much. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? You know, it's like, I really like playing jazz, but at the same time, you have to play like, I don't really give a shit either. There's somewhere in between, just like that. There's a really good place to play music. And that's where we try to go, at least on Fridays. I leave all my other stuff, I just like put it in the trunk of the car and hide the keys. I know you know what I'm talking about. So do those people listening online right now, they're like, yeah man, I need to rent a car and drive out to California. Can come out anytime. They got jazz here, it's 5 nights a week, sometimes 6.
one is dedicated to the late great Charles Brown. If you're not hip to Charles Brown, look him up on the internet. Great pianist and a singer-songwriter that made a lot of hit records out of the Bay Area and Los Angeles. Wonderful West Coast blues artist. We hope you like this one, dedicated to Charles Brown. so much. It's still early in the afternoon, so day drinking is permitted while the sun is out. So if you need a little, a relaxant, they have them here. They're not expensive and they taste delicious. You can get a Coca-Cola with almost any alcoholic beverage in it here, I think. Right? You got something you can dip in your beer? Get some Taiwanese pretzels or some exotic food. With the Chinese medicine, where people dip it in there. That's like one of them Slim Gilliard. Who put the Benjadine in Mr. Murphy's Ovaltine? He wrote some weird songs like that. That's back when if you had a little bit of funny jazz cigarettes, you could go to jail. Especially if you were black. They didn't like that. I heard all kinds of stories. Central Avenue in Los Angeles. Onwards.
No, it was close to 4.
good. I thought I was on 124th and Lex. You know that neighborhood? You don't want to walk around down there by yourself unless you speak good Puerto Rican Spanish. Then maybe you could talk your way out of getting pistol whipped or something fun. This is blues time. We're going to swing the blue for you, see if you like this. This next tune is reminiscent of the late great Howlin' Wolf. He didn't really play the piano, but he was a great harmonica player, an incredible singer, and a guitar player also. If you're not hip to Howlin' Wolf, look him up. Look him up on the YouTube. Look him up on the Google. He made lots of great records in the 50s that become legendary standards now. I hope you like this one.
Armini? Armini?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Back in the 1930s, boogie woogie music kind of came out on the recordings, and American people were starting to dance to it. It kind of became a little bit of an institution over the next 15, 20 years. But actually, that music existed before those recordings came out, mostly in black nightclubs where they had a piano. They started playing that kind of music probably close to their late teens, before records really got super popular in the 20s. Anyway, we're going to do a little attempt at some good old-fashioned barrel house boogie woogie. We hope you like this. This music was basically designed as what you call waist down music. You did it, it's not in here, it's like waist down. I ain't gonna elaborate, I'll let your alcohol talk to you and you can tell me the secret later.
It's a cocktail. Cocktail.
much. We got this thing, we broadcast live from here every Friday. So there's, I get like text messages from people. I'm in my hut in Uganda listening to the blues, Fred. And we get all kinds of, Mexico City. I got friends that listen from Norway, Sweden. And my good friend Dominic, he's a piano player in Poland. I can't remember, I don't want to butcher his last name because it doesn't have any vowels in it. I don't speak Polish very good. But anyway, if you miss any of this and you want to tell your friends, they can go on my little YouTube channel. It's called Fred Kaplan Music, and you could listen. We archive it after the broadcast. This is live right now, so if you're trying to hide, they're right here in this club. It's the cameras right over there. If you're hiding out, we'll find you. Blues Freaks Anonymous.
If you're with somebody you shouldn't be with, stay away from the camera.
Yeah, the IRS is checking and they go, I think that guy owes me some money. I know where he lives.
Who's that COE that just got busted? That chicken shouldn't have been.
Gotta get Eddie a microphone. He has a lot of really great jokes, but they're mostly in Malaysian. All right, we're gonna do one more tune and then we're gonna take a little break. Don't go away, we got more music, and then after us, there's a wicked good band in their room next door later, around 8. This tune is reminiscent of the tune The Great Muddy Waters had a hit record out in the 50s called Got My Mojo Working. Although he did not write that, that's probably the most significant, one of his more significant tunes that people know his music by. Look at these guys. See, these people are not assassins, they're musicians. But they dress like assassins. And when you ain't listening, I'm gonna come in here with a blowgun. Musical assassins. Eddie Layman on the drums. He's working hard for it. He broke a sweat today. Mr. Lorne Rall on the upright bass. My name is Kaplan. We're going to be here for a little while longer. We have a little tip hole down here and a sign next to it, so you can hit us electronically, or if you want to put gold bullion in there and American money, we'll take anything pretty much. Just know, don't give us your divorce papers. We don't want to see those. But everything else is cool. We'll see you in a few minutes, and thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll be right back. Stick around for lots more music. Thank you so much.
Well, sometimes when men buy I was just setting some boundaries, setting our boundaries. I just don't feel it. I just don't I said, let's go wait for my Fanny's. Wait till you're pretty, pretty Well, you just know when you go electronic, you get to
That's some people say. I had one lady, she was cash money.
I try to get my mom and my sister to live in Orleans.
We can't find this live stream.
Sheriff, just, what are you doing?
I did. I put in Fred Kaplan music.
Fred Kaplan music.
Right. I did. Fred Kaplan music.
They play at Naples. That is, they're live. Another place that you should go. Really cool restaurant. Saturday night. By 6 or 6. Place for breakfast. Sit outside.
But it's right there.
Yeah, throw it out.
You ever see the TV series Grape?
I did.
Watch it.
I didn't watch much of it.
There's a lot of places in there that are gone right now. Because I have friends that live there since before Katrina. Some of them after Katrina.
Oh, yeah.
COVID was the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. But, it's surprising when I go there, for festival season, from there,
We went to high school, everything down there. When I called, this is how they had me find me. They see my number or something. That's how they talk like that. I used to work with, you know what I got to play with them a few times. Super nice guy. Lived in his brother. You might be old enough. I don't know. In fact, I'm gonna open up. Well, I got there.
Open up.
I'm gonna play one of his tunes.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it. You got it. No, it's good. I know how to dance. Yeah, I did. We see back in the day, like I was born in 58, so 67. So when I was 15, we went parks, and nobody targeted anybody. You went with your parents. It was sort of like that. Like my dad loved music. We got to see Tina's and Peters and all of that. And it was just,
I saw that all the time. I saw
I remember the thing that I just family.
We're gonna serve it to you. I can't help it.
I went in with my son, that was funny. So my son was 15, so we went into the Maple Leaf. And in there was one of his classmates who was also 15 from Ohio with his mom.
We're gonna go far.
Remind likes to do that. We were all like,
Mr. Eddie in here. Mr. Eddie,
they did look old.
Eddie Del Mundo, where are you?
No, it's just a classmate.
And if we get the house music off, and we'll be cool to get started. I do like that house music. Sometimes they put on really good stuff. Oh, Eddie, are you sleeping in his car? We might have to stop it out. Mr. Eddie Layman to the bandstand, please. I don't know where he went. Maybe he went out for one of those jazz cigarette breaks. Mr. Eddie, come on up here if you're here.
The guy on the sex site, said the
Look underneath his back seat. He might be passed out back
That's
there.
straight, isn't it?
Sleep until the next gig.
That's so funny. 20% contained.
There it is. All right, look at that. Look at full beard. All right, we're going to do a little New Orleans music because I like it, and I like to pay tribute to the piano player that inspired me greatly by the name of Professor Longhair. His real name was Roy Bird. Everybody called him Fess. He passed away many years ago, but his music still lives on. So I'm going to dedicate this one to Fess and also to my friend Johnny Vodakovich. He's a great drummer, and his wife, Deborah. They're good people, and they're long-standing members of the New Orleans music scene down there. If you're not hip to Johnny Vodakovich, you got to go check him out. He plays at the Maple Leaf quite frequently. Very great New Orleans drummer. The other drummer that I like is Herman Riley. He's also from down there, and Johnny knows him. Those guys are buddies. Another wonderful drummer. New Orleans drummers they're not like any other kind of drummers. They got a different time mechanisms somewhere in their brain. case you want to know the name of that song, I wrote that song about, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago. It's called Giacomo Boom Boom. And if you don't know what that means, you need to go find somebody who eats a lot of beignets and drinks coffee with chicory. They'll tell you about all that. Yeah, New Orleans music is great, and it goes really good with the food. I was smelling some red beans and rice on the end of that song. You know, it was jumping. They put a hot sauce on that. You know? Yeah. Little jambalaya. We're going to shift the gears a little bit. This next tune is a Cuban melody, very old melody. And I heard it on a 78 when I was a teenager, and it stuck with me. So we hope that I'm going to dedicate this one to a piano player we just lost recently, Eddie Palmieri. If you're not hip to Eddie, look him up on the YouTube. He was largely responsible for bringing much of great, like the Fania All-Stars and Latin jazz to the United States in the 70s, out of Puerto Rico, Cuba, and Dominica. Anyway, we hope you like this one.
Very like to do that. Look at recipes. You said you were asking for his pesto recipe. Check that you get it. Get recipes. Great too. So,
I just found it beautiful. I was supposed to take the cakes out of the shop. Not a big fan of Granny's, but they were
Yes, indeed. When you play Cuban music, Puerto Rican music, you know that you heard people talk about like you got to chew gum and pat your head and rub your stomach. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So when you do this kind of music, think you might have like 3 heads and like 4 stomachs, and then you get into the realm of Cuban music. Because those musicians, they got like clocks in here, especially the percussionists, but all of them, they put out music, and sometimes it sounds like 12 guys, but it's only like 3 or 4. It's freaky because they're such good musicians. If you get a chance, check out Eddie Palmieri, you'll dig him. He has everything from trios up to like 30-piece orchestras. He's he was something else. He left a huge mark in Latin jazz. He's going to be sorely missed, but he has a big legacy. I don't think we've only got time for one more tune. Can you stick your head in there? Do they have all their band here? Is everybody there? Yeah? Okay, we're going to finish it out. And this is a very old gospel tune. You might have heard this in church when you were growing up, called Closer Walk with Thee. I learned this song many moons ago, but I've heard it said that this song is older than the Civil War. I think it came about in the 1830s or 40s, so we hope you like this one, and that's what we wish for you for the weekend. Drive safe, drink responsibly, and most of all, maintain the groove at all costs. So we hope you like this one.
If you're gonna drink and drive, make sure you have a car.
That's gonna do it for us tonight. We appreciate your attention and your tips and hanging out with us. Please stick around because there's some really good jazz coming up in a little while. Right there, the magic curtains over there, so hang out, enjoy your evening with lots more. And if you're not brand new to the Grape, this establishment has wonderful music at least 5 nights a week, sometimes 6. It's a great place. You can get on their email list if you pop into the club, just fill it out. Otherwise, go online and look up the Grape in Ventura, California. We'll see you next time. God bless you guys. See you later.
And, what do you think tomorrow, Martha?
Turn off my
2 o'clock.
Thank you for hanging out tonight and for the tips if you wanted to come in electronically, go up to the top of the page, right up there. It says PayPal or something like that. Then next to that, there's a button you can click on and you'll get. If you want to buy our music, you can click on that. See you guys next week. If you missed any of this, we'll have this posted up later on tonight. You can watch the card version will be up shortly. Thanks a lot. See you guys next week. God bless you.
And musicians from the city?
See you guys next time.